The state of Missouri executed 55-year-old Marcellus Williams on Tuesday over objections from the local prosecutor. Williams was convicted for the 1998 killing of Leisha Gale. Earlier this year, the St. Louis County prosecutor filed a motion to overturn Williams' conviction, citing a lack of evidence in the original case, ineffective counsel, and racial discrimination in jury selection. Gale's family even made calls to spare his life. The conservative majority on the U.S. Supreme Court declined to stop the execution. Marcellus Williams is now the third inmate executed in Missouri this year and the 15th in the nation. This issue is one that's close to my heart for a number of reasons. When I was Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, they had reinstated the death penalty in the state. And as someone who is pro-life, I believe in protecting life in the womb and life in jails, right? And so all life should be protected. And when you have a situation where there is evidence, clear evidence, that the individual who is on death row should be at least having his case looked at, the evidence rechecked and re-examined. When the prosecutors tell you that there's something not right here, when third parties unrelated to the case come in and look at the evidence and go, there's racial bias in this jury selection process, that this evidence doesn't stack up, the court has an obligation to pause. The court has an obligation. It's one of the things in my review of our death penalty in Maryland that I wanted to make very clear, that the roles that are out there, folks, someone's life, I get it, the heinous crimes and the bad situations. And I looked at those cases of death row in Maryland, and you feel horrible for the families. But you also have to consider the evidence. And if the evidence, as it indicated in this case, was this gentleman should not be on death row, and to kill him and execute him without a review of that evidence, to me, is heinous and unfortunate.
You know, it is, what struck me the most about this is that the prosecutor's office, the reason that office is now led by District Attorney Wesley Bell, who is the Democratic candidate for Congress now in that district, and is likely to be elected this November, is that the prosecutor's office, when they did take another look at the case, they found that Williams's DNA wasn't even present. Whose DNA was present was folks from the DA's office, because they had poorly handled the evidence in that case. And that was part of the reason that the DA joined with even the family of the victim in this case to say, okay, we need to take a pause. There are many people that could have, many entities and individuals that could have stopped the execution of Marcellus Williams. Before it got to the United States Supreme Court, the Attorney General of the state of Missouri, the governor of the state of Missouri, and then even, yes, the majority on the Supreme Court, they could have waited, they could have stopped it. But the conservative majority sided with the conservative governor, who is term limited, by the way, in Missouri, and elections have consequences. Is part of what this boils down to. But yet again, we have watched an execution of a man who has maintained his innocence.
Yeah.
His innocence up into and through his death.
The evidence did not have him at the crime.
It didn't have him at the crime.
They did not have him at the crime scene, so.
This is why people are so frustrated, I believe, with the criminal justice system. And we talked about the special that we have tonight. This comes up, we touched on this a little bit within the special, but truly, I couldn't believe, I was at an event when it came through that they had executed him. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that they executed Marcellus Williams knowing the evidence.
Well, part of the reason, and I think part of the reason you couldn't believe that, Simone, is because we don't want to believe it of the United States Supreme Court. I thought that Dahlia Lithwick, Mark Joseph Stern made an amazing point in Slate. There's just the title of this piece, Pay Attention to Who Benefits from the Conservative Justices' Selective Empathy. There is more incontrovertible evidence of Trump's guilt in the January 6 cases than there was of Marcellus Williams' guilt in a murder. Look at who it is they feel empathy for. That's the tell.
Yeah, and that's the reality when you look at our criminal justice system and the blatant distortions about the impact that it has on Black and brown communities and the way they're projected and treated and assumed to be guilty in many instances. I mean, there's a reason why Donald Trump insisted on executing the Central Park Five. Right? That feeds into those narratives. And this kind of comes back to haunt in so many ways that this man was not given the benefit of a review of the evidence that showed he was not the one who committed this crime. And yet they executed him anyway.
Marcellus Williams should still be alive today.